All right, you guys, without further ado, today we announce our new investigative series, or you guys get to find out what it's going to be on. It will begin next week. Many of you guys guessed, by the way, and from what we could tell, only one person in the live chat on Friday completely nailed it. Get ready because this one is going to send the internet and the media into a frenzy. Plus, later on in the show, I'm going to show you why I have grown completely bored of politics. Conservatives, my team, so to speak, are just becoming so hypocritical on the topic of Elon Musk, and it's making me want to rant. So I'm going to allow myself permission to rant about this topic of his 13th baby mama. Welcome back to Candace. Boy, oh boy, I am not sure where to begin on this one, other than to just come clean with you guys about the fact that I have been keeping a very big secret. Not because I wanted to, I don't do secrets, because of contracts, lawyers, employment changes, all things that were well beyond my control. I guess what I should say here is that you should know that way long before I ever embarked on looking into Blake Lively or Brigitte Macron, there was another series that I was very keen to bring to life. And trust me when I say that this one is just going to make the American media lose its collective hive mind because it concerns them. Some really big lies that they told to the public, and I would call these lies by omission. Just like we learned via the Justin Baldoni and New York Times story, when you omit certain facts which radically transform public opinion, you're a liar, right? There's no other way to say it. You are intentionally lying. There is, in fact, a difference, New York Times, in saying that somebody barged into a trailer when someone was breastfeeding and then omitting the fact that the person was invited into the trailer. Yeah, that does a little bit. That little detail does a little to dissuade the public from believing that a person is a sexual harasser or an abuser. And of course, when they do these sorts of things, when they intentionally omit certain facts, they have the potential to ruin people's lives forever. Well, what I want to tell you guys is that I have had some conversations with someone, a once upon a time very powerful someone, and I am now going to jog your memory on who exactly it is that I'm speaking about. The subject of my next series. Take a listen.
I want to start by thanking Harvey Weinstein for organizing this amazing day.
Who is Harvey Weinstein? Or better yet, who was Harvey Weinstein? Harvey Weinstein was born in 1952 to Miriam and Max Weinstein, a diamond cutter from New York. Harvey grew up in Flushing, Queens, and then attended State University at Buffalo College before deciding to drop out and form a music production company with his brother, Bob Weinstein. They were focused on the independent production of rock concerts through the 1970s. But in 1979, the brothers pivoted and formed Miramax, a company they had named after their parents, which had a focus on independent films. They received their big break into the industry in 1990 with the biographical drama My Left Foot, which earned the company its first pair of Academy Awards. The Hollywood floodgates had opened. Miramax went on to produce a string of critically acclaimed films, including The Crying Game, Pulp Fiction, The English Patient, Life is Beautiful, Shakespeare in Love, and Chicago, to name a few.
Chicago!
This led to an unprecedented 10 years in a row of producing an Oscar-nominated film for Best Picture.
I would like to thank Harvey Weinstein.
Harvey Weinstein, who believed in us and made this movie.
Thank you, Harvey Weinstein.
Especially Harvey.
Harvey and Bob Weinstein.
I want to thank the Mashbuka Weinstein.
An analysis found that Harvey Weinstein had been thanked or praised 34 times, as many times as God. And that makes sense when you come to understand that within the pagan culture of statue worship, Harvey Weinstein was a god.
I just want to thank my agent, Kevin Uvain, and God, Harvey Weinstein.
With seemingly unlimited access to not only A-list actors, but also heads of state. He had it all: power, wealth, and artistic success. This meant that within Tinseltown, Harvey could make or break a career. And no one knew that better than Harvey.
If I see one car, me and Bob De Niro will take care of it, but good.
Have a good night, man.
Never work in this town, will never sell a photograph anywhere.
But cracks began to emerge. First with rumors of impropriety spun as jokes.
Congratulations, you 5 ladies no longer have to pretend to be attracted to Harvey Weinstein.
Of course, Harvey had built up a wall of political power around him that seemed impossible to penetrate, thanks in large part to his philanthropic endeavors, as well as his relationships with leading politicians. That is until the fall of 2017, when Harvey's world came crashing down. On October 5th, 2 reporters from the New York Times, Megan Twohey, yes, that Megan Twohey, and Jodi Kantor, published a report detailing decades of sexual abuse. This report was followed up by Ronan Farrow publishing a piece in The New Yorker. Suddenly, more than 80 women began publicly accusing Harvey Weinstein of sexually abusing or sexually assaulting them. The media went into a frenzy. The Me Too movement had been ignited. In the blink of an eye, Harvey Weinstein lost his company, his marriage, and eventually his freedom, trading in red carpets for perp walks. A-list actors and actresses did an about-face.
It's just that horrible ass boil that does not go away.
Hollywood turned its back on their beloved Harvey. But was the public told the truth? You're just going to have to take my word when I tell you that no, the public was not told the entire truth about this story. And the Harvey Weinstein story runs very deep. I can tell you that without flinching. In fact, I pride myself on never believing the media, always investigating things further. But I can admit, I fully fell for the narrative as it pertained to Harvey Weinstein, mostly because, first and foremost, there were just too many women, right? There were too many women that were all saying the exact same thing. Truthfully, I didn't even know why he was in prison or who specifically among the many women that had come out with all of these allegations and accusations against him had been the 1, the 2, or the 3 that actually got him into prison. I just knew somewhere in the back of my mind that he had to have done something because 80 plus women, like I said, is just too many. And by the way, that's kind of the point. It's a very effective media strategy that's been employed by the media since the 1930s. For those of you that are in the book club, in my book club, you know, one of the books that we're reading is Hollywood Babylon. And it really woke me up to the fact that when Hollywood wants to hide something, they flood the media with so much information and so many different possibilities and so many stories that people can't think. The public can't think. Our minds just become cluttered and we just accept whatever it is that they're trying to tell us to accept. I want to say this because this is the craziest part of this. Harvey Weinstein and I are, of course, an extremely unlikely pairing, okay? We have nothing in common virtually. He is emblematic of Hollywood, and I absolutely despise Hollywood, truly. He gave millions of dollars away over his lifetime to the ADL, the Anti-Defamation League. I am literally on the ADL's list for being Adolf Hitler as of last year, okay? He also gave to every Democratic presidential nominee, and I'm a committed Republican. So I really want you guys to imagine he and I having conversations over a prison line. I want your imaginations to really run wild with what that conversation might have looked and sounded like. And I want to tell you more about that today. There is so much that I want to tell you about those conversations as we begin to unfold this series. I will. Currently, we're just in a little bit of a legal hold. But suffice it to say that 2 years ago, when we had our first conversation, I was convinced that Harvey Weinstein was guilty of something. And to be clear, Harvey Weinstein is not Justin Baldoni, okay? When you come down this series, you're not going to be like, Harvey Weinstein's my cousin, kombucha. No, none of that, okay? He's not some puppy who got kicked by a swarm of bullies. Harvey was a bully, who I believe may have stepped on the toes of a bigger bully, a network of bullies, so to speak. Many people forget, but Hollywood was founded upon gangs. And as a part of this investigation into the larger Me Too movement, I have now spoken to actresses, singers, Backstreet Boys, you name it, many of whom believe that the Me Too movement consists of something that's akin to a criminal network. Journalists acting as the hitmen, paid-off law firms, which assist in corporate shakedowns, essentially a cartel of sorts that's operating in plain daylight, using a movement about sexual abuse to wrangle publishing rights and ownership away from certain people. So what do I believe today? Well, we'll get into it also as a part of this series, but I believe Michael Jackson also strongly asserted something similar, said something's going on here in Hollywood. And then he was swiftly met with media allegations, so many allegations, too many allegations of pedophilia, and then a highly publicized trial, criminal trial to that effect. So yeah, I believe the media has been used for longer than we're willing to admit to take down certain people or companies for reasons that are not immediately clear to the public. And regarding Harvey Weinstein, after looking into the case for years, I believe that his New York case was rightfully overturned. And that this time, the public, and I'm now calling on you, TikTokers, citizen journalists, as I start giving you these facts and giving you information that the courts did not allow into the courts, you better pay close attention. Because he's about to be retried, and I will guarantee you that you will be as absolutely shocked as I was. I really do believe that TikTokers, mommy sleuths, it's time to start looking into journalists Megan Twohey, Jodi Cantor, Ronan Farrow, learn a bit about these families, their families. Where did these people come from? Why are they being given Pulitzers? I expect Harvey Weinstein's case in Los Angeles, which he has appealed, is also going to be overturned. And I know that saying all that right now, today, probably sounds insane to you, probably as insane as it sounded a year ago when I said, hey, Brigitte Macron is a biological male. And now many of you are realizing that didn't sound so insane. So trust me, I have the receipts. I would never say such things without receipts. And the receipts here are long and they are dark. And it just points to something really nefarious going on in Hollywood that has tentacles everywhere. And I will say this, in many ways, Harvey made it very easy to take him down because he was undoubtedly, like I said, this is not Justin Baldoni. He was undoubtedly a very immoral man. I want to make that clear. That is one thing that has not shifted my perspective. I'm not like, oh my gosh, Harvey. No, he was an immoral man. He was cheating on his wife. He was screaming at assistants. He was running the peninsula like it was a brothel. Okay, treating journalists like they were scum of the earth. So it is very hard, as it was very hard for me to really just stick to the facts here. It was hard for me to immediately reconcile who this person was with the potential that in the end, and I'm now speaking specifically regarding the crimes for which he was charged for, the reasons that he is in prison. It was hard for me to reconcile in the beginning that he may have been intentionally wrongfully convicted. But next week, I'm going to invite you guys all down the rabbit hole with me in our investigative series, which will be entitled Harvey Speaks. And so what that means for the Hollywood people that are watching this, the PR agents, the celebrities, yeah, you know what I know. A lot of you guys kind of happy he was in prison, gone, couldn't have to think about this guy anymore. But you know, it's a funny thing. When Harvey Weinstein had so much power, so many of you A-listers who laughed and made jokes, first went from calling him God to then throwing him under the bus. I would imagine Harvey Weinstein might have been your first phone call when you yourselves were in trouble. That's why you want him in prison. That's why you never want him to speak. Harvey Weinstein probably knows where a lot of the Hollywood bodies are buried because he probably helped bury them. All I know is that you guys, and I'm talking to you, Hollywood, you guys are on notice. So stay tuned. All right, guys, I do want to tell you about one of our sponsors, Good Ranchers. Did you know that over 85% of grass-fed beef in stores is imported? That's because the country of origin labeling law was repealed in 2015. So now meat can be packaged here in the U.S. and earn a product of the USA label, even if it was born, raised, and harvested overseas. But GoodRanchers.com is changing the way you buy meat. Their meat is born, raised, and harvested right here in the USA, so you know exactly where it comes from. It's free from hidden additives, no antibiotics ever, no added hormones, and no seed oils. You can also check out the exclusive Candace Owens box with my hand-picked selections. Support my show and directly support American ranches by going to goodranchers.com/Candace to shop today. And right now, Good Ranchers is running their New Year New Meat promotion, so you and your family can easily get the quality that you deserve. So you can subscribe to any of their boxes and get free ground beef, chicken breasts, salmon in every order for over a year. Plus, you'll get $40 off when you use my code Candace at checkout. That's high quality, clean protein in every order delivered to your door for free for an entire year. Visit goodranchers.com today, and don't forget to use my code Candace to claim your free meat and $40 off. Also, even if you think it's a bit overhyped, AI is suddenly everywhere, from self-driving cars to molecular medicine to business efficiency. If it's not in your industry yet, it's probably coming fast. But AI needs a lot of speed and computing power, so how do you compete with costs that are spiraling out of control? It's time to upgrade the next generation of the cloud with Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, also known as OCI. OCI is a blazing fast and secure platform for your infrastructure database, application development, plus all your AI and machine learning workloads. OCI costs 50% less for compute and 80% less for networking, so you're saving a pile of money. Thousands of businesses have already upgraded to OCI, including Vodafone, Thomson Reuters, and Suno AI. Right now, Oracle is offering to cut your current cloud bill in half if you move over to OCI for new U.S. customers with minimal financial commitment. The offer will end March 31st, so see if your company qualifies for the special offer at oracle.com/Candace. Again, that's oracle.com/Candace. All right, you guys, I got a rant about this this Elon Musk thing that's going on, so bear with me. I mean, I think everybody has sort of sensed that I am getting a little apathetic on the topic of politics. And there's a reason for that. I said this to you guys, like, you know, if you really love people in politics, don't get to know them. Don't meet them. I think there's actually an expression like, you know, don't meet the people that you, or the celebrities that you love, because then you're going to find out about them and it's just going to ruin it for you. And this has kind of been my experience over the last couple of years, where I realized that I'm not quite sure if either the left or the right is married to principles, and if they're really just married to the idea of getting at each other, right? So we covered this last week. Elon Musk had another secret love child, okay? I'm saying another because this is allegedly the 13th child, at least that the public knows about. I would very much bet that there are more than 13 children that are out there, but we found out about this one because the baby mama in question, Ashley St. Clair, decided to break the news onto her Twitter account, her X account, and she alleged that the reason that she was doing it was because the Daily Mail had been snooping, going through her building, putting her child at risk, and she wanted the public to find out on her own terms. And the Daily Mail piece was very invasive in my view. There's no reason, even if you're exploding the story, to talk about how you walked in her hallway, spoke to her neighbors, described the building she lives near and the car that she drives, okay? But then right after this, 2 days later, or maybe it was even a day later, she released a piece, or did a piece, collaborated with the New York Post, where there appeared to be a photographer in this swanky New York building that she's living in. And beyond that, she has since released private correspondences in the form of text messages between her and Elon Musk to various publications. And it's just weird. Like, it's like Elon Musk being like, let's have another child, let's make plenty of babies. Like, he just wants to populate the world with tons of different women. And she also announced that she was suing Elon Musk in New York to establish paternity, plus to seek full custody. And this caused a conservative meltdown, okay? And I'm putting conservative here in air quotations. The general perspective was, well, she's obviously a gold digger, and she got pregnant on purpose by him to go after Elon Musk's money. Elon Musk himself has essentially boosted this perspective by commenting on various threads of people who were one-time friends with Ashley St. Clair, and they're now sharing their private correspondences with her to prove that she's a gold digger and that she basically eyed Elon Musk. Like, Elon Musk is a victim of this story. He's a 53-year-old man who's supposed to be one of the most intelligent people in the world. He is the richest man in the world. But the spin here is that he was victimized because, you know, Ashley St. Clair kind of got in there and he had no idea what was coming, right? And so there's one person online, Isabella Moody, who basically is saying, I'm sharing personal messages with Ashley St. Clair because she shared personal messages with Elon Musk. And here's what she tweeted. I'm just going to share that with you because this is what Elon Musk responded to, saying that she agreed with Laura Loomer. She wrote, I wasn't going to post these, but now that Ashley St. Clair has leaked her private signal messages with Elon Musk after lying and saying that she wanted privacy, here's more evidence that Ashley planned to baby trap Elon. She sent me these text messages in May of 2023 when she first met Elon and started sleeping with him. She said, I need his rocket babies and I need a caption to seduce Elon Musk in May of 2023. See dates below. She doesn't care about privacy. She planned to seduce him by her own admission, and now she's leaking his texts. So I'm leaking her texts to me, okay? Because as Laura Loomer said below, we need to condemn promiscuous gold diggers. And then she posts the messages, and it's Ashley St. Clair saying, Elon followed me. I need his rocket babies, LOL. And Ashley writes back, oh my God, no way. That is so awesome. Isabella writes back, oh my God, no way. That's so awesome. And then she wrote, he 1000% saw my moon landing tweet. Look, I'll take one for the team, seduce Elon, and get in a rocket to see what's up. And then she said, Isabella said, oh, yes, you must for the sake of society. So when I read these messages, I'm reading like a joke, a gag between two girls. And by the way, I am totally guilty of this, never speaking about sleeping with someone, but literally last weekend, there was a person that followed me on Instagram and I made a joke to my producer and my former EP. And I was like, so-and-so just followed me. So none of you guys look at me anymore. I'll be wearing sunglasses inside as I pursue this friendship. It was just a joke. You know, and so I don't know if we're supposed to take that literally, but what we know is that she then went on to have a baby by Elon. And so Elon's responding to that and he writes, whoa, whoa. And this annoys me because it is, first and foremost, his response annoys me. Isabella can share whatever she wants. All is fair in politics. This is just how it goes. People turn on each other all the time, stab each other in the back. But Elon Musk responding, whoa, like he just found this out. He is the richest man in the world, okay? Stop. Just conservatives, stop. If Elon Musk wanted to employ every single person in Nashville and dedicated their employment to researching every single tweet and thought that Ashley St. Clair has had since she was born, he could do that. That's what it means to be the richest man in the world. He has wealth that is not calculable. He has the whole world, resources at his fingertips, so much so that he can just pick girls like Ashley, have 13 children, the majority of them, I think, via surrogacy and IVF. And I have always said since the beginning, before this Ashley St. Clair situation happened, I am on record saying that I find it problematic that conservatives have turned him into a superhero when the way that he lives his personal life is against our family values. But nobody wants to say that because Elon Musk has a lot of money. And everybody wants to be around Elon Musk because he's like close to Trump. And so everyone's going to just abandon their family principles here and pretend that like somehow he's a victim in this. No, he's not a victim. He's a 53-year-old man. I'm going to assume that Elon Musk knows how babies are made. Okay. So, whoa, I had no idea. That just seems fake to me. That seems petty. It seems fake. And it's ridiculous that you're leaning into this, especially when you have 13 kids that we know about. You know how babies are made, Elon, okay? So it is a total plausibility, hear me out, that you don't need to root for Ashley or root for Elon Musk. Like that would be the realest thing ever if you recognized faults in both characters. So I don't have an issue with people saying, oh, well, she obviously did this because he's the richest man in the world. That's fine. She is not above critique, and she represented herself as a conservative that pushed traditional values, and so she's going to have that criticism coming her way. But to pretend Elon's a victim, really? And I'm talking everyone in the conservative movement is trying to take this angle. Christina Pashaw, if you don't know her, she's the former comms director for the DeSantis campaign. I think she still works for Ron DeSantis. And she may have been, just by the way, I don't want to like assign malice where there wasn't any. She may have been asking this question in earnest, but she tweeted this, okay? Somebody said, sole custody? Why? Christina writes, what I don't understand is why it's even necessary to file for sole custody if her name is the only one on the birth certificate. They were never married. His name is not on the birth certificate. He has not claimed paternity, and there's no paternity test. So why would custody even be in dispute? So maybe she's asking this question, like I said, out of earnest, but the implication here is like, well, he got you pregnant, you had your baby. Why do you have to go to the court and get his name on a birth certificate? Like, what's that about? And so here's where I think that socioeconomic differences might matter, maybe potentially, because I didn't grow up in like a bed of wealth. In fact, I grew up with no wealth. I grew up in a household where we watched Maury and Jerry Springer, and watching conservatives try to grapple with this situation is legitimately funny, okay? Because Elon Musk and Ashley St. Clair, like what's happening between them, just so everybody's clear, is like every single episode of Maury, okay? It's every episode of Maury. It's two people who are both not great, and which means I learned at the tender age of 6 that you shouldn't root for Tyrone or Michelle, right? Like, so we can take a look at an old Maury clip for those of you who are not accustomed to this kind of a thing happening. Take a listen.
Everyone, let's welcome Michelle back to the Maury Show. Backstage is Michelle's fiance, Tyrone. You see, Michelle and Tyrone have been here twice before. Tyrone has 2 strikes against him. You see, 3 years ago, a woman claimed that Tyrone was the father of her baby, and he was. That was strike 1. Later, they returned because Michelle thought Tyrone was sleeping with other women. And he was. Strike 2. And now they're back. But before we hear about the potential strike 3, Take a look at their last appearance. The first time we met Michelle, she and her boyfriend Tyrone came on the show to prove he was not the father of his ex-girlfriend Dacia's baby. You hear about a woman who says that she has his baby?
Oh my
named
God.
Dacia?
That's his baby.
About the baby. He said that the baby wasn't his the whole time she was pregnant.
Are you the father of this little boy?
Yes.
No.
You are. If you wasn't the father, you wouldn't.
There you have it, guys. If you want to know what's going on between Elon Musk and Ashley St. Clair, this is what's going on, okay? So I apparently didn't realize that I had somehow furnished better morals at the age of 6 watching Maury than the majority of people in the conservative movement who are basically saying what every Tyrone in the episodes of Maury says. Oh, she's this, she's that, she's lying, she's a bleep, 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 bleep. She's sleeping with everybody, Maury. She's sleeping with everybody. That ain't my kid. That ain't my kid. And then no one actually feels bad for the girl either because, like, yeah, she's sleeping with a few people. And then we find out that he's the father. So it doesn't actually matter if she's sleeping with somebody. I don't care if you think that she's a gold digger. I don't care if you think that she's sleeping with multiple people or that she plotted it. I don't care if Elon Musk found Ashley St. Clair at a strip club. I don't care if he hired her as a professional prostitute and she got pregnant that night. It's his kid. If it's his kid, he's got to take care of it. That's just like moral consistency, okay? I just don't care. It has to be done in court. If she won the bag, as everybody's saying, doesn't matter because Elon Musk is a 53-year-old man, okay, who has definitely had the talk about the birds and the bees, okay? And now I'm going to show you what I'm talking about when I say like the hypocrisy and why I believe that people respond to money. And this is what happens when you have a movement that is no longer being shaped by Christian belief. It's just about political belief, which means that you have to be worshiping something. And to me, it's like they're just all worshiping money. So remember, I don't know how old you guys were, but there was a situation that happened where Hunter Biden, okay, got a girl pregnant and didn't want to claim the baby. And conservatives had an entirely different perspective on the matter. So I want to show you this clip of Megyn Kelly covering Ashley St. Clair on her show very recently. She has on as a guest Michael Knowles, who I love and adore. And sorry, Michael, but we didn't include your perspectives on this little clip that we pulled. Take a listen.
I don't understand how these women think their only road to financial success is to marry a rich guy or get pregnant by a rich guy and make him pay for your lifestyle. To me, it's so disempowering. Go earn your own money. If you want to be rich, if you want a nice damn apartment, why don't you work? Why don't you earn it? Why are you just trying to bag some rich guy? It's so up. It's wrong. I feel like, okay. And then I'm almost done. If you do bang the rich guy, and if you do get pregnant with his child, then when it doesn't work out, be dignified about it. Don't go on Twitter. I don't believe her on the tabloid story. I don't believe her because it doesn't seem like she doesn't want publicity. She did the whole big spread with the New York Post. She wants publicity. Even if a tabloid was about to break it, then they break it and you say nothing. That's the classy highbrow way of handling this. She seems to want the attention and also at the same time want our sympathy. And I'm having a really difficult time giving it to her.
But she had no difficulty giving it to London Roberts, who was Hunter Biden's baby mama. And to be clear, when this woman came on Megyn Kelly's show to hawk her book, talking about wanting publicity, she did a whole book. And Megyn Kelly promoted the book, did a reading of the book, which I'm going to show you. And not only that and by the way, the old Megyn Kelly was right. Doesn't really matter how Hunter Biden got the woman pregnant. He has to acknowledge her child. I don't care how powerful your family is, Hunter Biden, you got to acknowledge the child. And so it's just incredible to hear that Megyn Kelly and then to hear this Megyn Kelly discussing the Bidens and introducing this baby mama who's going to go on and admit that Hunter Biden was high out of his mind, clearly, when he got her pregnant. And she was literally a stripper. So let's just take a listen to Megyn Kelly.
This week, we've been following the trial of Hunter Biden on charges he illegally purchased and possessed a gun while he was abusing drugs back in 2018. Well, that same year, just weeks before he bought that gun, a young woman from Arkansas gave birth to his child, a little girl. For years, Hunter Biden denied that he was the father of Navy Joan Roberts until a DNA test proved otherwise. After that, Hunter Biden finally started to support the child financially only to come back and ask to pay much less than he had originally promised. Through it all, President Joe Biden, who prides himself on telling us about what a close-knit family he has, refused to acknowledge this little girl at all. After Joe Biden was elected president at Christmas time in 2021 and 2022, the Bidens decorated a White House fireplace with stockings stitched with the names of 6 grandchildren, no stocking for their 7th, little Navy. In fact, as recently as April 2023, President Biden suggested on camera that he only had 6, not 7 grandchildren. But last year, little Navy's mother, London Roberts, and Hunter reached a new agreement. And President Biden finally acknowledged Navy in a statement put out late on a Friday on a summer evening. London Roberts is out later this summer with a tell-all book. It is called Out of the Shadows, My Life Inside the Wild World of Hunter Biden, and it's available for pre-order now. And it is riveting. London
okay, we can come out of this
joins
one.
me now. London.
Okay, so just wanted to show you this because it's like she's pretending to be outraged about the publicity of it. She's pretending, what were we outraged about? And with Ashley St. Clair, that we're not outraged about regarding Hunter Biden. Because I just think that it should be the exact same reaction. Why wasn't London, when she, as I said, describes meeting Hunter Biden, describes the fact that there's literally drug paraphernalia in front of him, that Hunter Biden is literally on drugs. So he could at least say, I was taken advantage of because I was high out of my mind. This woman slept with me. I was on drugs. I was in a bender. Elon Musk has none of these excuses. And yet we're willing to condemn or defend Elon Musk for what reason I don't understand, while we were all willing to condemn Hunter Biden as we rightfully should have. Here is, again, a last clip of her describing, this is London Roberts, describing to Megyn Kelly the circumstances by which she met Hunter Biden. Take a listen.
You write in the book, it's pretty extraordinary that you hear on the other side of the doorway the F word. So you go in, you push the door open, wondering what's happening in there, and you see a man sitting in an office chair, leaning over a small desk, meticulously organizing a series of small glass tubes and copper strands. He looks determined. He isn't wearing after-party clothes like everyone else. Instead, he's sitting there in brightly colored boxer briefs with parrots all over them. I'm intrigued. He turns in his chair and catches me in his stare, his gaze intense with furrowed brows and the most beautiful blue-gray eyes I've ever seen. What an amazing thing, London, to think that man who you met in that moment would become the father of little Navy, your only child. I mean, your only child, at least soon at that point.
Right.
So when you look back at that moment, what made you stay and continue talking to this man when you met him in his boxers with drug paraphernalia everywhere?
Well, I mean, it's like I said, I was intrigued. This guy, you could tell, and I speak throughout the book about this empathy that I have, for people and people who are suffering. And Hunter was battling a demon at that time with addiction, but he wasn't just, your average Joe. Like he was so smart and so intelligent and easy to talk to. And he has a way of making you feel like you matter.
Okay, we can come out of this. You get my point here. This is what drives me crazy about politics. And I don't have anything personal against Megyn Kelly. Okay, I think that she has flip-flopped on a variety of issues, whether she was on, I don't know if it was ABC or NBC or Fox News, and now she seems to come back over to the Trump side. And, I just wish that there was a consistency there. And I plucked Megyn Kelly because that was the first clip I saw. Go through every conservative speaking about the Hunter Biden issue and weigh their comments compared to what they said when it was Hunter Biden and it was Joe Biden, and Joe Biden didn't acknowledge a child and he was awful. Is anybody else going after Errol Musk, by the way? Which would be Elon Musk's father, and saying, has he acknowledged that Ashley St. Clair has had another grandchild? I just don't like the double standards. And you don't have to have double standards if you're not chasing money and you're not chasing influence, or not just trying to be in the room with people that you think are powerful. If you just have a perspective on life and a perspective on the fact that fathers should take care of their children, and if she has to establish paternity, by the way, for those of you that aren't familiar with Maury, the reason why you have to do that is because you can't get child support until you get that proof that the person on the birth certificate is the father. If you have to establish paternity. Also, when it comes to making decisions about their schooling, things of that nature, you have to establish paternity. So there are reasons that women go through that effort to establish paternity. And again, I learned this when I was 6 watching Maury, but I'm just not really feeling the like pro family values party only picking at Ashley St. Clair and pretending that the way that Elon Musk is living his life and trying to populate the world with his sperm is perfectly permissible because he's within distance to Trump. It's crappy. It just is crappy. And that's what I want to say on that topic. All right, guys, before we move on here, I want to remind you that the average person today is feeling the financial strain more than ever. Expenses are up, wages aren't keeping pace, and many people are finding it nearly impossible to make ends meet with little left over after covering the basics. It's no surprise that many are resorting to credit cards just to get by, often carrying high balances and interest rates in the 20s or even 30s. So if you're a homeowner and you're stuck in the cycle of mounting debt, you need to call my friends at American Financing. Their salary-based mortgage consultants are saving homeowners an average of $800 a month, helping you put your hard-earned money back where it belongs. Plus, if you act now, you might even be able to skip your next mortgage payment. There are no upfront fees, so it costs you nothing to find out how much you could be saving each month. It's time to break free from the stress of debt. Talk to American Financing today and take control of your financial future. Call 800-795-1210. That's 800-795-1210. Or visit americanfinancing.net/Owens. That's americanfinancing.net/Owens. By the way, speaking on the same topic of outrage and me just like not feeling it, people were freaking out yesterday over a 2-week-old report regarding the Eagles who were supposedly planning to skip the White House visit. And no one knows if this is true. The U.S. Sun reported 3 days before the Super Bowl happened that the Eagles were not going to visit the White House if they win the Super Bowl. The report apparently was sparked by a question that was posed to the owner regarding whether they would visit or if they would boycott. And he said, I just want to win on Sunday. And the report was largely ignored until, for whatever reason, it got unearthed yesterday on Twitter. And everyone started like instantly attacking and getting into our political sides and screaming at each other about a White House visit. Among them, of course, Megyn Kelly. She was very angry, dropped some more F-bombs about this, saying, go F yourselves, Eagle. My husband is a fan, so I got on board, but F this BS. I just think I'm lacking in caring anymore about these visits. I don't care if the Eagles visit Joe Biden. I don't care if the Eagles visit Trump. I don't care if the Eagles want to come to my house and visit me. I don't care if the Eagles want to never visit anyone ever again. I am so tired of like politicizing sports. I just don't care. Okay. I literally, if this report pans out to be true or false, let the Eagles do whatever they want, because now it's become such a show. Is the NBA, are the championships going to visit the White House? Why don't we just stop every sports team visiting the White House? Why don't we just stop that stupid tradition? Because this is why we can't have nice things. It is. I'm sorry. In America, we're no longer allowed to have nice things because everybody hates each other for no reason. We don't even know if the report's true. Everyone's yelling and screaming. And truly, maybe they just don't want to travel. Maybe they don't want to travel from Philly to the White House. There's also like a history there where Trump didn't invite them. And like I said, when things that were supposed to bring us all like enjoyment and togetherness are now being politicized and have us at each other's throats, why don't we just kill it? That's why I just kill it altogether and find something that we can agree on. And I think that when you guys elect me to be the dictator of the United States, I want you guys to know that I am not going to invite any sports teams at all, ever to the White House. All right, guys, let's get into some of your comments. I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say about Harvey Weinstein. And also reminding you guys that have signed up for our book club on CandaceOwens.com. If you want to join the book club last second, we are reading Chaos. Tomorrow we will be much more organized in terms of going through the chapters because I was just too excited last time. I just had to say hi to everybody. But the book club will be meeting at 6 p.m. Eastern. We are still trying to get the live chat established, but it looks like we're going to need another couple of weeks on that. So we should have the live chat by the next 2 weeks, by the end of the next 2 weeks. All right, getting into some of your comments. Who do we have here? Najam, you are up first. You said, thanks, Candace, for being brave and fair. Trisha writes, she's coming for Hollywood and it's about time. Keep going. You guys, you have no idea. There are so many names. I mean, you're going to like big names. I'm talking A-listers, like people, you're going to be looking at them sideways. People that you thought were the villain, you're going to be like, whoa, he wasn't the villain. And people that you thought were perfect, that you were like going to be like, whoa, this person is a villain. I had it wrong on so many people. And like I said, I have been going through this for almost 2 years. And I feel very strongly about the stuff that I have discovered. And I am also terrified about the court system. I'm wondering if there's a criminal network within the courts in Los Angeles and New York, because even the facts of the case, what was happening in the courtroom, they intentionally did not tell the public. They just stayed with the accusations and didn't tell the public what was happening in the courtroom, because it would terrify us. Because irrespective of how you feel about Harvey Weinstein, if you ever get in trouble one day, you're going to have to go through the exact same court. So it's never root for the courts to be corrupt because you don't like someone. Rod writes, Candace, you rock, baby. Matt A writes, thank you for exposing pedophiles. It's about time we stop letting them be. As an Assyrian Christian ethnic group, thank you for speaking out about issues in the Middle East in a fair way. Thank you so much. I really pride myself on doing that. And we actually should do another update and speak about what's happening in the Middle East, because there is a lot, especially what's going on in the DRC, just incredibly horrific. Vash writes, maybe a deep dive into Justin Drew Bieber. I am hopeful that at some point you do. Haley Baldwin has ruined him by riding his coattails, praying for Justin every day. I do not agree with that assessment. We have done episodes on Justin Bieber. You should go watch them. Just pivot over to the live tab, and you'll see we did a couple of episodes on Justin Bieber. And I actually think it's the opposite. I think Justin Bieber is trying to get out of Hollywood, and you don't get out of Hollywood. There's only one way out of Hollywood, and it's not the easy route. Emiliano writes, God protect you, Candace. And by the way, just going back to Vash's comment, like all of the media press suddenly attacking Justin Bieber, because of my knowledge about what they do, if somebody's got something to reveal or something to say, I have questions about that. And maybe there is a time and place where we could do a Justin Bieber deep dive. Holisticology writes, I guess the child's paternal care matters only if you are on the right side of politics. Yeah. It's just, can we just consistently say the left and the right, if you impregnate a woman and you know how babies are made and she didn't drug you, which in both circumstances, neither one of them were drugged. Hunter Biden drugged himself. Then you just gotta be responsible for your kid, man. Like, you're not a hero for getting a woman pregnant and then trying to say, oh, well, she's a gold digger. It's just like, I don't care. I don't care if London Roberts pursued you because you're Hunter Biden. I just don't care. Take care of the child, acknowledge the child. And it's the only victim in this, it's neither side other than the child. It is the child that misses out when they don't grow up in a stable household. It is the child that misses out when they have an absent father. And I used to think conservatives stood against that. I don't know what's happened over the last couple of months. This is the problem, by the way, with Hollywood culture. Now it's seeping into conservative culture where they're like, everyone's just so starstruck by Elon Musk, and they just, for some reason, can't filter their values and just say, okay, I like him for this. I like him for rescuing X because I do, but I really don't like his style of raising children and of impregnating a bunch of women, which I don't. Love writes, I'm very interested to hear what Candace tells us about Rose McGowan, as she was a big part in accusing Harvey. I have had some conversations with Rose McGowan, and if she will likely find out about this, and she and I were actually supposed to meet down in Mexico. There's a fun fact for you. And it could not happen because I had an unfortunate change in jobs. Well, actually, I would say fortunate change in jobs, but meaning that just like things got shifted, it didn't end up happening. But Rose McGowan, if you are watching, let's make it happen where we can still be in communication. She, interestingly enough, is not a supporter of the Me Too movement. So let's have that conversation. Colonel Kurtz writes, I respect your guts on Weinstein. Can you give us a Marilyn Manson update? All of this can be a part of this Harvey series, because we're going to go through all the Me Too cases that fell apart. His fell apart very recently, and there were reasons for that. And I had already said that Marilyn Manson was going to be found not guilty. Very scary that the media can have you rooting for somebody to lose their freedom and rooting for somebody to lose everything. And that's why I said TikTokers begin with the journalists. Start looking to who their parents are, who their families are, and the picture will start to come together. Lastly, Mig writes, all I remember is it hit huge. Oprah came out and laid a smokescreen, and the next thing I knew, he was in jail. It was like cremating a body too fast. Yes, Mig, I love it. This is the last comment because that so perfectly encapsulates how I felt, where I didn't really know anything, but I just knew he was bad, right? Like I was just like, he's bad. And I felt that. And the purpose of me even taking a phone call of him, I'm not a person who's going to be persuaded. You're on the left, I'm on the right. Like I said, we have nothing in common. And I realized that even I have the potential to be completely, have a spell of sorts cast on me by the media if there is so much information and I just don't have the energy to dilute it all. And now I have that energy and I can't wait. I'm going to be hitting up TikTokers. I'm like, Steph with the deets, got a new project for you. Be better. Yeah, Marcos, if you're watching, I'm going to have all of you on this because you guys were amazing watching your content and all of us, the way we were able to pull across the Justin Baldoni stuff. And if you thought that was a lot, wait till we get to the Harvey files. Looking forward to Harvey Speaks, you guys. If you want to support our work, obviously we're keeping the bulk of this series completely free. Head to CandaceOwens.com and support us. You can do that by buying my new book, Make Him a Sandwich, which you guys are going to absolutely love, which is going to unpack the feminist movement. Fellas, buy this for your girl. If she opens it and she's like, oh, I love it, put a ring on it. If she opens the present and she's like, Candace Owens, think twice. That's all I'm saying is think twice. Get to the bottom of what her values are. CandaceOwens.com for more, you guys. We will see you tomorrow.